Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee Talk. And we are here out in Lakeview Heights to share with you what's happening around the church community of Lakeview. And we wanted to just kind of spend some time amidst our neighbors today as we talk. Last week was drama camp. You all know that because you were there in spirit and watching. We know, but just to look back on drama camp a little bit, we love hearing. By the way, many people have said different comments and how they've appreciated the presentation and all of that. But as people who are a little more, Kevin especially, Jeff, you were involved in different ways too. What are some of your takeaways from drama camp from last week? If it's not still one big blur of beautiful energy, but
yeah. So for me, I just had a thought and it slipped out, and I'm hoping it's coming back. Oh, that's what it was. I love that you get to see the drama on Sunday and just see it all come together. But really, for Lori and for us, and for anybody involved in the planning and the preparation and all that it's about, the week is 90% of it. Just the transformation that happens. To me, that was the word, transformation.
okay.
Because it's just such a transformation from coming in not knowing lines, not having a set, not having a tech crew know what's going on, and then all the steps, all the frustration and that goes along with how are we going to do this? I don't know. Oh, let's figure it out. And the transfer, it's just kind of almost like a mini Christian life, when we come to know Jesus, it's exciting. Monday morning, it's exciting. We're coming into this, and then all of a sudden, everything's thrown at you, and you're like, "How am I ever going to do this?" And then step by step, going through frustration, going through joy, but then, oh man, let down, and then excitement, and then, Sunday will be our homecoming, and it's just beautiful how it all comes together. God's going to bring it all together. To me, that was kind of just as I was thinking about it, it's an illustration of the walk with Jesus. It's just this adventure that's beautiful and hard and good and all these things together. So that's one of the ways I was reflecting on it. Mm-hmm. How about for you?
Very similar in that when I was prepping in my teens, we were going to go to a mission trip. We were kind of trying to do some local missions, and then in doing that a couple of times, then we actually were going to have a group go to Mexico. And in some of our training, one of our leaders just kept coming back to, one of the first rules of ministry is be flexible. Mm-hmm. Because you will have a plan and you'll lay it out and it'll be perfect in theory. And then when you get into practice, a lot of times things change and you have to be ready to not only adjust on the fly, but also give over some of your thoughts of okay, well, this is what I wanted, but and I feel like that's very much how the week goes as well too, is we have this plan. We actually, Lori plans it really well, and then I work with the tech crew with Devin, and we make these ideas, and Alec was there too, and we have these ideas and we kind of lay it all out, and then we get into our week and realize a lot of that needs to change, not just because we didn't plan well or we're hitting a wall, but because usually there's a lot of different reasons, but one of them I think is for the good of our campers, for the good of the play, for the good of that sense of keeping some peace and order and longevity and not burning kids out and stuff like that, because we could have these plans and anyways. So that was a really big thing for me, was just that sense of flexibility. So we had our plan and we were kind of working it through, and we realized, Lori realized even a couple of days in, okay, we need to sit everybody down and say, why do we do this? Yeah. And that was actually a really cool moment for me, of being able to just hear her tell her story of this is where I started in drama. This is why I love doing drama. this is how it has affected me for actually a lot of my life. And then I was actually able to share a little bit of my story as well too, because I've had a similar story of, you know, somebody who came alongside me and believed in me and, you know, said, you know, here's something you could do, and I think you'd be good at it, and here's an opportunity. And right, so to know that there was people like Lori in my life to encourage that in me, in my teens, and then to know that we can do that with these kids as well too. Like, we needed to change our schedule, be flexible, have that moment, and I think it created a better camp. You know, it just changed everything and pushed it forward and gave everybody a little bit more oomph and purpose and all that. So that was a really big moment for me.
You know, I want to. My big moment kind of actually branches off of that. But one of the things that came to mind as you were speaking is when I was in high school, our youth pastor, you know, would develop us as student leaders, and he encouraged us with an acronym. I'm going to use the acronym RAFS. He did rearrange the letters a little bit because, you know, a bunch of immature guys. But right, you would be reliable, available, flexible, teachable, and servant-hearted.
Yeah.
And you know, with those character qualities of a good leader, and so I think that's so much what you're reflecting on, right? That especially that flexibility component.
Yeah.
That things are going to change. And the big thing is, like, but we can grow through that, right? And all of us as leaders are growing. It doesn't matter. Like, I think even Lori would tell you she's growing as a leader. We're all growing as leaders, even if we hold. So we're like, all of those still play out at every age you're at. Mm-hmm. One of the things, though, that's really key for me in all of this is that we have youth who are leaders, growing as leaders, that were campers and now keep coming back. And so to have like the Sams who are there, who are, you know, again, former campers, now leaders. And like there was such a beautiful team of them. On top of that, to have, you know, at least one camper go, hey, I'm too old to be a camper next year. Could I come and be a helper? That is a beautiful community thing that is a byproduct of Drama Camp. And I know that the emphasis is that, hey, we're developing skills, we're having a fun week, we're focusing on Jesus, we're sharing gospel moments with these kids throughout the week, yes, but we're also thinking about the future, and what we're setting these young leaders up for is something really beneficial. And one of the things that is just, like I said, it's a great byproduct of it. And we're, you know, we're related to youth who are benefiting from that. We're working with youth who are benefiting from that. That's all. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's great. Great week. And a great ministry. and I just have to applaud you too and Lori. Obviously, Lori has the whole thing. It's amazing. You know, she just has all the details in her head. I don't know how she does it. But for you guys to enter into that and then to bring it to life with her, is just really exciting.
And that's the side that we see. But really, like, from the kids' perspective, like, it's amazing, or from the families as well too, to be able to step in and say, we have no idea what this is about, and then by the end of the week, they're like, no, I get it, I understand it, right? So we often even say, like, when we raise the bar for kids, it seems a little scary because it seems like that seems impossible. They need to know all that and be able to memorize it early. They actually rise to the occasion every single time, right? And so it's a testament even to like the whole culture of the thing, but even to the kids that we have come in, and that's a joy as well too. I had a lot of older kids with me with the tech crew, but we put a lot of big challenges in front of them, and they kind of just stepped up and they did it. And you know, as leaders, that's really enjoyable to be able to see that in the kids.
Very cool.
Yeah, and to think that other than the script, we pretty much start from scratch with everything. Sets, costumes, designs.
I didn't understand what that meant, so let me share what I learned, because I think some people watching, some of you might not realize. When Lori said the sound effects were created from scratch, they were created from scratch. Like the roar of the dragon was...
No, you can't. Don't give it away.
Why not? I mean, they have to know a
Oh,
little bit more.
It was from scratch.
They were
It wasn't-
created sounds.
It wasn't downloaded.
They didn't find that somewhere on the internet. One kid didn't just go off and do it. They actually created that sound, and then worked with that sound on the computer. That level of depth that you showed me Sunday afternoon, I didn't realize went into it.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
detail of all of the things was so impressive to me.
Yeah, it's really
Mhm.
there's so many layers to
Yeah,
it that are just
yeah.
really cool. That hey, next time there's a drama camp, you want to get a little better peek behind the curtain. We're
Yeah.
always open to more people
Oh,
coming
yeah.
and
Yeah.
helping.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
yeah, and you know what? It was also fun too. Another aspect that was kind of fun, like just even thinking about it this morning, we fed 120 people Friday night with
Yeah.
3 of us, and it was just like it was so slick and easy.
Yeah.
Like we had
Yeah.
some great volunteers in the kitchen helping out, and
great.
but there's volunteers at every level, and
Yeah.
it was really just it's a
Mhm.
pretty cool thing.
And it's fun volunteering. So if you're looking
Yeah.
at next year or next drama, we'd love to have you help. So
Yeah, absolutely. So, but looking ahead, more nearer future, Sunday we have
Yep.
special guests coming.
we do.
I don't know if I'll just
Yeah,
run with
yeah,
this
you
one
tell us.
because we have those of us who have been to Romania. I've repeatedly, kind of like how we've built relationships with youth who come to drama camp repeatedly. As we've gone to Romania repeatedly, we built relationships with some of those who live there, and a few of them, a small group of them, are coming to our church on Sunday, and I am so looking forward to hanging out with them and reconnecting because it's been 5 years since we've seen them. And Paul and Tanya are leading a group. They're coming. They're going to share in the service. So brush up on your Hungarian. This
Can
is
you
the
say
thing.
anything in Hungarian?
No.
Oh, okay.
I know. I need to. I'm
want
saying
you to
this
teach
to
us.
me. There's a mirror. I need to brush up on my Hungarian.
Yeah.
Which is a challenge. And this is the thing I think trips a lot of people up. They're like, oh, they're from Romania. They speak Romanian. No, they speak Hungarian. And so, brush up on that and enjoy just meeting some people and hearing from them. There'll be some testimony. There'll be
In English. Yeah.
yeah. No. The crazy thing is, this is why I know like zero Hungarian, because most of these youth who are coming are our translators when we go over there.
Oh yeah.
And so
they
when
know
you're
both,
preaching,
Yeah.
and usually when I've preached, no, sometimes, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think usually it's like an adult who has studied English, whatever. But sometimes I've been preaching and it's been like, oh, here's my 16-year-old translator. This is awesome. I love this. It's so great, and it's really good. So. Look forward to that on Sunday. And then also on Sunday, we're starting ticket sales for a big event coming up in October. And who wants to run with what we need to know about that one for this week?
I think I talked about it last time. How did you?
So our 50th anniversary is this year, 2024. Marks 50 years of us being a church here on the west side. And so that's also why we're standing here in Lakeview Heights, because this is kind of where a lot of the murmurings began in 1973-ish, and then in 74 there was a group that just kind of gathered together. One of the original meeting places, and you'll kind of see it hopefully over our shoulder.
Over
You'll
yonder.
see
Yeah.
there's some big buildings going up by Andrews Road. There was a community center there, or a school, Lakeview Heights School, and so that was one of the first meeting places for a little while. And then in 1978 our church was built, but really like 74 is when this community said, we want to see a lighthouse. We want to be a lighthouse on the west side, in addition to all that God is doing. And so, so we are looking forward to that. And so we're going to sell tickets for a celebration that we're going to have on October 4th. It's Friday night, and we want to just gather together, do some eating, but also just celebrate as a church. And so the tickets are really like, we're trying to do minimal costs so that we can cover some of the meal, but also so that you can reserve your spot, because we have limited spots in that meal as well too. So that's why we're trying to sell tickets. So it's gonna be an exciting day.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. I love that. Like, it's a little ironic for me. I'm like, oh, I don't think any of these houses were around in the 70s. We probably picked a neighborhood that's too new, but it also gives a little glimpse of how Lakeview Heights as a community has changed over the 50 years as well. And that's why you hear construction and see towers like crazy. Imagine that. I wonder if anyone pictured that. But yeah, well, look, I love that. Like the DNA of Lakeview was to be a lighthouse, right? Not just to warn, but to beckon people come and find safe harbor and come and meet Jesus and come. We want to serve and protect our community, and so that's something I look forward to just continuing to talk about as we get closer. To that date. So, Jeff, anything to add that we're missing at this point?
I think those are some great things to look forward to, and just to remind you to be praying for these things, be praying for the families that were influenced by last week. Many of them aren't a part of a church, and so pray that that might have sparked a seed that God can water and bring to fruition. And pray for the 50th, that would be a celebration that would just be a good moment in our church as we look back and look forward and are excited about what God has done and what He's going to do, and pray for our missionaries, the Garrickes, and as we hear more about what they're up to on Sunday, that'll help inform our prayers further. So, yeah. Prayer is just continues to be such an important part of what we can all do wherever we are, and even when we come together, especially when we come together too. So, yeah,
it's great. It's beautiful. Well, if you didn't see the performance last week,
That sounds like some Stone Dragon stew you just laid out there.
Awesome. Speaking of, if you didn't see the performance, you can go. It is on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's up there. Go watch it. Highly encourage you to do that. And I hope we'll see you Sunday.
Mm-hmm.